Hey guys, it's Johnny. I'm just going to do a couple of test routes for those who are potentially going to have their test quite soon after we come back down out of lockdown. I've had to mount the camera with blue tack after spending an absolute fortune on mounting cameras, but this seems to get us the best picture. So I'm going to try and knock out a few videos for all the pupils coming up to test, and I'm going to try and edit a few of them just so that you can do something while we can't do lessons, unfortunately. So this route's going to be, I'm going to take you down through Finniston today. Probably better watching this on a bigger screen if you can, rather than on your phones, so you get an idea of where you're going, but I'm sure you'll remember most of it, but it's good to get a wee reminder. I'll be talking you through what signs we would be following, potentially following the sat nav as well, okay? So as soon as we're ready to go. So just reminding you, moving aft, checking interior, road ahead, right door mirror, and a wee check on the blind spot. Now I'm moving off in 2 lanes here, so I need to make sure both lanes are clear. That's the last car just moving away. So the sun might get in the camera a little bit just now, but this is just come along the road from the test centre. So what I'm doing just now is planning as far as I can see. Now I can see there's parked cars quite far in the distance. I hope you can see that because the sun is right in my eyes, so I can't see anything. I do have a car coming up the right hand side. It's quite far away, so I'm going to move out nice and early so that I don't affect them. Now I wouldn't wait until the very end before moving out, because then my signal's going to affect them. So the sat nav would be saying take your next road on the left. Oh, the examiner can see it. So turning left, big check interior, left door mirror. You can see the junction, but 100 yards away, pop on my left signal. That's me letting everybody know what I'm doing. Now I'm going to slow down nice and early. Now as you can see, there's a lot of snow about just now. By the time we get out, I doubt there'll be any snow for you guys. As soon as I come into the new road, I'm going to update my mirrors, and then I'm going to assess the hazards in front. Looking ahead, I've got a slight bend, so I'm going to keep it nice and steady around the bend. I've got a car in front of us, and we're leaving plenty of distance in case he brakes suddenly. Any a new section of the road. The road's opened up quite a bit, so I'm expecting the car in front to build up their speed a little, and I'm checking my interior, left and right door mirrors just for a general update. Now the car's just signalled. Now I've already checked my mirrors just there, so it looks like he's turned into left, so I'm checking interior and right door mirror. I'm okay to overtake him. There's nobody waiting at the junctions, and away we go. Same again, it's a 30-mile-an-hour road. There's not much here, so I'm looking to get round about the 30 marker, which I am just now. Same again, other update in the middles, just to keep an idea on what's going on around us. An oncoming car, and there's a meeting situation, so I'm checking interior and left door mirror, and I'm moving slightly to the left. And same again, another meeting situation, plenty of space for 2 cars, but I'm updating the mirrors and what way I'm moving. I moved slightly to the right there, so it was interior and right door mirror. Coming up, we've got a couple of pedestrians in the road, so same again, other updating the mirrors. That's actually coming onto the road, so I'm going to check my left and move slightly to the left. And we've got the first set of traffic lights now. If you see the road markings here, they'll feed us into the left hand lane. I've slowed this right down on approach. And we've got the keep clear and the cycle zone, and the lights have just changed on approach. I've updated my mirrors again, and I'm going to move forward slowly. We do have some kids coming out of school, key worker kids, so I'm going to keep it nice and steady. I'm running about 20 miles an hour just now. There's no need to go any faster. We've passed the junction on the left hand side. Not any more school kids, so I'm going to increase the speed to suit the road conditions. So we do have some parked cars, so 25 miles an hour, 27 miles an hour just now, relatively wide road. And up at the traffic lights, we're going to be taking the road to the right. So up here it's a T-junction. There is a little bit of roadworks up there. So normally there's 2 lanes to turn right, and if we've got a choice of 2 lanes to turn right, we're going to choose the left of the 2, which means that when we come round the corner, we're going to be in the left hand lane. So left goes to left, right goes to right. Now I'm sitting stationary at the traffic lights. I'm not going to engage neutral, but I will secure the car by putting the handbrake on. Hopefully some of you remember how the handbrake goes on. Because of the roadworks, I'm not really overly worried about lane discipline here, because there is only one lane turning right just now, but I am still going to aim for that left hand lane. One of the things just now, sitting waiting patiently, is that the lights, when the sun's shining on them, are quite difficult to see, but you should always be able to see a red light. The green might be a wee bit more difficult. Remember, we do have our primary lights where the blue car is in front of us, and the secondary is just over the blue car where the white sign is, just under the bridge. So you shouldn't be able to miss any of them. So that's the filter went for the left, and now the filter to the right. As I say, I'm going to come round nice and wide, pretending that I do have cars on the inside. Coming into the new road, updating all your mirrors, and then really planning your route. So if you're looking up ahead, I can see a nice clear road. I'm going to make a little bit of progress, but I do have a set of pedestrian crossings. Nobody's standing there. Updating my mirrors. And as I look ahead, I've got a red light, so another check on my mirrors and easing off my gas, gently braking. Same again, I've got 2 lanes going ahead, and I do have a wee filter to the left. Now just remember, the wee filter to the left is a potential test route. We are following the signs onto the dual carriageway, so we'll be following signs here for city centre. So we can sit here twiddling our thumbs for a few minutes, or we could be checking our left and right door mirrors to see if there's any cyclists coming up. Just now I just have queuing traffic but no cyclists. So we're trying to anticipate when the lights are going to change. Now the traffic crossing us have been going for quite a while now, and as the lights change, another quick check in the left and right door mirrors. And as you come round here, you might be able to pick up the 40 sign up on the left hand side there. So I'm going to make as much progress as allowed. I've got a nice clear road. I was first at the traffic lights, so it means I can make good progress. So I'm up at 37 miles an hour just now, which is kind of what they're looking for. Get yourself up there. Now we do have a pedestrian crossing followed by a traffic light. Both are green, but they have been green for a while, so I'm going to update my mirrors and cover my brake just in case it changes on approach. I'm now through the lights, and I'm looking for the sign for the city centre, which is up on the left hand side there. And this will take us on to the slip road. Another sign for city centre. And a large bend coming up. So I've just edged off my gas. I am coming uphill, so I'm not pressing the brake. The hill's acting as my brake. Once I get to the apex of the corner, I'm starting to add on the acceleration. Bear in mind that the speed limit was 40 miles an hour, so I'm looking to get back to 40. Now as we're coming down here, we have double white lines, and we're also in the right hand lane. So we want to go over to the left, but the white lines are telling us we can't move over. As soon as the white lines are finished, interior left door mirror, big signal, still checking the left, being nice and patient, and moving over gradually. Got a big sign up on the right that says 50 miles an hour. We're looking for more progress. However, we do have a slip road on the left hand side. Scan the slip road. If nobody's there, make some progress. Now the overhead signs are telling us we're following the signs for city centre, and the parking sign only covers a third of the box up there, which means this lane goes to the city centre as well as it's joining the slip road there. So we'll stay on the right hand side of the slip, and that'll take us to the city centre. Speed limit 50 miles an hour. Road is nice and clear, so we're going to keep it 50, and I'm going to be quiet for a couple of minutes. traffic in the right hand lane hasn't gone as fast as me, but I've edged off the gas here so that I don't undertake them. Now only in slow moving traffic, i.e. crawling traffic, would I undertake them, so I've taken the edge off. Now I do have a van coming up the slip road here, so I'm going to move over to the right hand lane because he's coming on at the same time as me. Building up my speed a little. I'm going to ask him to move back in, and then he's flashed us back in because of that one. Now ideally, for yourself, it would be easier if you just slowed down a wee bit more and let him on. Now we're now following the signs for Finniston, and depending on how good this camera is, you should be able to pick up the sign for Finniston up the top, and it's a sign up the left hand side. And it's telling me it was the last third of the sign, so it's telling me it's the next slip road. So I've checked my mirrors, I've signalled off. Anytime you come off a slip road, unless you're told otherwise, go into the left hand lane, because that's where you're always driving. But if a sat-nav told you that you're coming off a slip road and then turning right at the lights, then use good common sense, you take up the right hand lane. Down to the traffic lights, we're being informed that we're turning left, so it's interior and left. Same again, the lights are green, they might change on approach, so we've updated our mirrors, anticipate that they might change, but also pick a point of no return. Pick a point where you say to yourself, well, if they change at that point, I physically can't stop. Into the new road, updating your mirrors, and we're going to be turning left at the main set of lights. Now we do have a pedestrian in the middle of the road here, so checking mirrors, edging over to the right ever so slightly, and then checking interior and left door mirror and moving back, trying to leave good clearance for them. Now up in here, we're turning left, and as we can see, the filter light is on. Now it's not the sharp left, it's the wide left onto the main road. I've got my speed, I'm looking for anybody jumping the lights like the cyclist there, and I'll take myself through nice and steady. Onto a slightly busier road. Visibility is a little bit more difficult on the left hand side for pedestrians, and there's lots of parked cars, so I am maintaining 20 miles an hour here. I just don't need to go any faster. I've got a car creeping out ahead, so updating the mirrors and maintaining my speed. I'm going along at 20. I now have a couple of pedestrians on the right hand side who are holding their position, so I'm going to maintain my speed. Pedestrian on the left, same again, just maintaining them at 20 miles an hour all the way along. Taking the next road on the left, it's just at Sainsbury's. Interior left door mirror, I can't see the junction, so I'm going to slow down a wee bit more. Now my line of sight is good, and I'll add a little bit of gas coming through the junction. Same again, coming down here, relatively quiet road. As soon as I come into the road, I update my mirrors, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to tick along at a suitable speed. Now, if this road was clear, I'd be down here about 25 miles an hour. Because of the snow, and I've got a couple of pedestrians, I've got one pedestrian actually walking on the road, I'm going to keep it to 20 miles an hour and give them as much clearance as I can. Potentially on the right hand side there, you could be asked to park across the side of the road and then reverse back to car lanes, but I'm not going to do any manoeuvres on the test routes. Coming up here, sat-nav will give you a countdown for 100 metres to take the next road on the right. Interior and right door mirror, slowing my car right down, but also staying on my side of the road. Make sure I don't cut the corner, take it in nice and wide, and turning in nice and steady. I am at 8 miles an hour just now. That's all I need to do from round the corner. Coming up, I've got some road markings on the ground. Hazard warning lines tell me there's a crossroads coming up. Now you'll follow the road ahead here at the crossroads. So I'm scanning the junction left and right. I haven't come to a complete stop there because my line of sight is excellent. Same again, it's 30 miles an hour here. There's no way I can get 30 miles an hour done because of road conditions. Now you notice that wee car that creeped out on the left hand side. He came from behind parked cars, so it's important that when we're approaching junctions that we're scanning the whole road. because otherwise we wouldn't have picked that up. Well, yous wouldn't have picked up, I always pick them up. I'm fantastic. A wee temporary traffic light, it's been here for about 2 years. Same again, it's like any other traffic light, it's a contraflow. And we've got a keep left and keep right sign there, so it's basically guiding us into the middle of the road. So it's allowing other traffic to come through because it's been narrowed down to one lane. Now it's our turn. Good check for cyclists and interior and right and left door mirrors, and taking ourselves through. Now we shouldn't have any oncoming traffic coming just now, but we'll keep it nice and steady because we are on the wrong side of the road and it is a contraflow. Another sign further up telling us to keep left, so that's the end of the contraflow. We can see the back of the temporary traffic lights, and then it'll be back to a two-way system. So this is coming down the back of the Kelvin Hall old sports centre. It's now the Hunterian Museum, and taking us down the back end of Partick. You'll now be told to turn right at the end of the road. So interior right door mirror, now the markings are away, but it is a T-junction. Nice and open T-junction, I can see clearly both ways. I've slowed down to a crawl, and then I'm committing to the junction. As soon as I'm in the new road, update the mirrors, and I plan the route ahead. Not too much happening here, build up a little bit of speed, but I can see it's another T-junction at the end. Now we're going to be turning right at the end. Now I'm going to slow down, even though I've got someone behind me, I'm going to slow down quite a lot here, so hopefully you can pick up the road markings. There is two giveaway signs here, so there's a giveaway for turning left and a giveaway for turning right. We're on the right hand side. Now this is quite a tricky junction, so what you're going to do is you're going to take your time with it, and I've just been flashed out by a gentleman from the left. Now I've confirmed that it was for me because there was nobody else there on the road, okay, but always take your time if somebody's flashing. Up to the end of the road, and we're going to be turning left. This will take us on to Dumbarton Road. Some of you might know it, some of you might not. Generally a wee bit busier road, but same again, in the middle of the pandemic, road's nice and clear, so I've got my bum out of there. That's it. It's going to give my car a quick wash. That's it. And we're going to be taking the next road on the right. Now normal times this can be quite a busy junction, so cars waiting left and right. I do have a pedestrian, so I'm going to slow down a wee bit more. I'm assessing oncoming cars, so there's a car coming, and now there's a van coming also. I'm going to skip in front of the van because there was a gap. Coming into the new road, we've got major hazards here. We have an oncoming cars and we've got a van. Now the taxi is quite far away, so I'm going to come out round them just now. As long as I've got enough time to come in and come back out, to come out and then come back in before the taxi's there, then it's a safe manoeuvre. If you move into somebody's road, i.e. move over the other side of the road, make sure you've got enough time to come back in. If you constantly slow down, you will fail your test. Coming up to the top of the road, road markings are a wee bit covered with the snow, so the road leads round to the left and it's coming into a one-way system. This is up past Cottiers, coming up to a one-way system. We're in the one-way system now, and we are going to be turning left at the end of the road, so nice and easy. We'll be looking to take up the left-handed side. Now same again, road markings are covered here, but I can see the small triangles that are warning us of a speed bump, and we also had giveaway triangles up in the road. Looking right, left, right, same again. I don't have to stop because I've got a reasonable line of sight, but I am very slow. Just coming up through Hyndland now. As I say, blue car stuck out a wee bit more at the end here, so I'm just taking a wee bit off my speed and then I'm edging up through. That's it. Again, I've got pedestrians in the road, so I'm keeping it nice and slow. No reason for me to speed along. And at the traffic lights, we're going to be turning left. So interior left door mirror, edging in, and then signalling to tell people where we're going. For you for those that have got their test coming up, coming round here, it's a 20 zone. It's means that you have to do 20. It's a school zone, but it covers quite a long distance. The signs are quite hard to see. You'd really need to be on top form to catch them at the start of this junction, okay? But if you're scanning the road, you should have no problems seeing them. My filter lights just went, so I'm careful of people coming out too far onto my side of the road here. And there's a big 20 sign on the road. Remember, that 20 sign can be in some places just recommending 20 miles an hour, but here we actually have to do it. It's compulsory. So I'm keeping it nice and slow. I've got the school on the left hand side. I'm scanning for any potential problems. Got a couple of pedestrians on the pavement either side and a couple oncoming cars, but there's no parked cars here anymore. There is a cycle zone on the left and right hand side, so no parked cars, which means our line of sight is excellent. Going up and round under the train bridge, and we're just going to get scunnered with a big bit of sun here for a second. And you can see just coming round here we've got the ferry signs on the left and right hand side. Although the new speed limit's 30 miles an hour, assessing the road ahead, I've got a big bend, I've got snow, I'm going to keep it relatively slow, so 20 miles an hour coming round the bend. I basically can't see anything because of the sun. And as we come up here, sat-nav will be telling you, or the examiner will be telling you, you're turning right at the traffic lights. Good check into your right door mirror, following the road markings into the right hand side, and up at the traffic lights, I'm turning right. Now, we know about these sets of traffic lights is that the traffic on the left hand side, the horrible colour car that you just seen, they can come round the same time as you. So same again, if you're in the right hand lane for turning right, as you come round the junction, you're going to be looking to go into the right hand side. My lights changed, so I'm basically looking as I'm coming round here for the cars, oncoming cars on the right hand side, because I'm going to be relatively close to them. You can see the white van, and I've stayed nice and snug in the right hand side. I've left plenty of space on the left also. Now coming up, I've got a double parked car on the right hand side, but I don't have any oncoming traffic. I do have a cyclist further up, and I have a bus at a bus stop, so I'm just going to check all my mirrors, edge off my gas. Unfortunately, the bus is peeled off. Sorry, the cyclist is peeled off. We're going to be turning left at the traffic lights here. I now have a meeting situation where I've got a bus and a van. So I've just held back. Myself through. Okay, same again, it's quite a lot of sun out there, so it's taking it nice and steady. Sun does affect the road conditions, so you're quite right to keep it slow if you have to. Now coming up to the next set of traffic lights, I've not had an instruction, so my intention is to go straight through. Now the traffic lights do have a filter light on it. Now if it has a filter light on it, straight through is always going to be the right hand lane. You don't get a choice in that. So I've lined up on the right, and that's allowed the cars on my left hand side to get up and through. see I've left enough space for the filter cars to go round on the left hand side. I've kept myself nice and tight to the right. As I come through here, I'm going to pull up and park for 2 seconds. So through the traffic lights, I'll pull up in Jordan Hill. Coming along now, as you can see, the parked cars are really tight. I've got a massive hazard here with somebody getting into their car, so I'm slowing right down, up and dating my mirrors, taking it round nice and slow. The same again, I'm coming into an almost meeting situation here, so I'm going to keep the car slow. There's a van coming through, and if I look right up there, the rest of the meeting situation, no oncoming cars. I am looking for places where I could pull in if I needed to. I now have a pedestrian crossing ahead. We are turning right just before the zebra crossing. I have oncoming cars coming. I'm looking into the mouth of the junction to turn right, and I've got a few pedestrians who have now just finished crossing. And I'll turn in nice and slow. Same again, try not to cut the corner unless it's absolutely necessary. Coming up, I can see some marking goes on the ground. They're hazard warning lines. I can now see the giveaway lines either side of us, so they're not for us. In the meeting situation, I'm going to wait until the car comes through, checking my right door mirror and moving into the middle of the road, so I'm leaving nice clearance on the left and right hand side. Coming up to the end of the road, I don't want to sit in the middle of the road for too long because somebody could come round, so as I get closer to the junction, I'm going to edge over a wee bit, making sure that I leave plenty of clearance from the parked cars. Coming up to the next junction, T-junction. Now this one you can't see, but I've got parked cars both sides, which means I can't commit from here. I need to creep out. So you can see I'm edging, I'm looking left and right as I'm coming out, and I'm not going to commit until I can see the whole picture. Not 50%, not 75%, 100% of the road. Due to the conditions, I'm keeping it relatively slow. It's a 20 zone in here. You can see I've got another junction on the hill here. We can see the hazard warning lines. We can see the giveaway triangle. We know we're on the correct side of the road. And same again, coming up nice and slow, covering the brake. You can see it's relatively clear, no parked cars, so I'm straight through. Now as I'm coming over the top of the hill, because there is a lot of snow, and be warned in this, do not take any speed over the top of the hill for snow. I am at 8 miles an hour coming down here. Now at the end here, we can't see any lines. We're turning left at the end. It is a T-junction. We don't need the lines in T-junctions. We know we have to give way to the people coming along the top of the T. Wee bit harder to see the curbs just now. Creeping out, leaning forward, moving my head left and right, and if I'm happy, I'll commit to that junction. There we go. Same again, road conditions don't allow us to go fast. Keeping it nice and steady. I've got a car just committed to the meeting situation, so I'm going to slow down, let them come through, and then I'll come out on with mines. Next road on the right, interior right door mirror, signal right. Oncoming car, but he's miles away. I'm going to cut over. Next set of traffic lights, turn right. Same again, interior right door mirror. I've got the filter light on, so I know my light's going to change. There we go, green lights, taking it nice and steady. And the right hand side, I'm only going into one lane here. Good, and same again, next road on the left, interior and left door mirror. Big signal, slow the car right down. It's a blind corner, can't see anything in it. I'm going to go in about 10 miles an hour. That's me. Coming in at 10, nice and steady. Right, for all yous that keep missing them, there's speed bumps in this road. So speed bumps should be done around 8 miles an hour. 8 to 10 miles an hour, keep it nice and slow. That's it. Good update in the mirrors. Plenty of space on the other side of the road. That car nearly took off, going all that speed bump. We'll keep it nice and slow, 8 miles an hour, because we like our car. As you can see, I've not speeded up massively over the speed bump, and I'm not speeding up massively between the speed bumps, because there's no point. Update your mirrors. Third and final speed bump. That's just past the school. Now we do have a few pedestrians, but we've got plenty of clearance from them, so pulling up our speed here, picking up to around about 20. Now this is the back way into the test centre. Now there's a sharp bend, so as you're looking up, there's a big hedge on the left hand side, massive big hedge. At the end of that big hedge, we go round to the left. It's where the road goes, okay? We don't go straight on here. The bend goes round to the left, and then it comes straight into quite an awkward meeting situation. So we do have a car coming down the hill. He's coming too slow, so I'm going to commit out. And now that he decides to come in, I need to slow my car right down. Kept it nice and slow coming through it, and then I'm going to take up the middle of the road again for that little bit extra clearance. We're going to take the next road on the right. It's just after the crescent here. Now this is a tricky one. So the road actually leads round to the left, but we have been asked to turn right. But the cars we're crossing are the ones coming straight ahead. So we're looking to see if anybody's coming and then crossing over slowly. Same again, quite a tricky end to the test because of all the meeting situations, hills and bends. And it's important, if it's at the end of the test, nice and steady with it. I don't want you going any faster than 10, 12, 15 miles an hour in some of these situations. At the end of the road, we're going to turn left. Nice and slow over my speed bump. We'll get 6 miles an hour there. Same again, looking left and right. Looking to see if there's anybody there. Coming out. Get a couple of parked cars. I'll keep ourselves into the middle of the road. Right, so I've got a bend with lots of snow. So I'm going to keep it here, and I'm 10 miles an hour coming round here in case anybody's coming round the corner too fast. As I get a better line of sight, a little bit more gas. Taking up a good position for the speed bump because it's clear ahead, and then I'm going to pull in the left. Remember guys, interior left door mirror. As soon as the examiner says park, he starts looking at